Oh, hey, here we go. Coffee time. Man, it's gonna be a long day. I'm gonna tell you all about it in just a moment. I'll show you the tripod I just broke. And here we go in three, two, one. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Tuesday, January 28th, 2020. My name is Jeremy. This is my first cup of coffee. Yeah, so I use two tripods, do a bunch of video, and sometimes I have projects that I have to come back to. So I will set my better tripod, my big tripod, at a certain height or whatever, and that one stays in the corner. It's more durable. It's the one I travel with. But I'm using that one right now because the one that I've been using for First Cup since the beginning of First Cup just managed to fall off the back of the table and I broke the head off. And it's not worth fixing because this is like a $12 tripod. So cheap tripod. Oh, it's all good. I mean, really, if you think about the number of things that have happened to this thing, it's okay. One of the legs is bent. This one's bent. I've tried to fix it. It would never quite fix right, so it wouldn't retract. It was a whole thing. So now I just use the good tripod. That's okay. Well, yesterday was crazy. There's junk in my eye. Hold on. There we go. Is that rude? It's probably rude to do that. Not as rude as picking my nose, but I'm not doing that, so. All right, so here's the deal. Yesterday, what happened? I went to a client to do some routine maintenance, and I walk in, and they tell me that one of the partners in this business walked off the job. Not quite walked off the job, quit over the weekend. And since this is a client that I still do some computer work for, that made my list from like do some maintenance to, hey, here are about 47 security holes that we need to worry about. So I was there for 5 hours. I was planning on being there for 3. And it just fried me. It just took everything I had out of my brain. So I wasn't super productive. Beyond that, I did get a little bit of work done. And following that, went to meet with and finalize a new client. That went really well. But that was several hours of me having to be, on and communicative and intelligent, which after the majority of the day being spent with security risks was a challenge. And so I came home and went, and there was an open bottle of wine that I fell into, and we went from there. It was Monday, and that's what seems to happen on Mondays. Thursdays don't ever seem to be disasters. Disasters are always Mondays, and it wasn't really a disaster. It was just not what I had expected. I think we can call it a disaster for this business. The business will be fine, but it's not what anybody there wanted to deal with. It was sad. I've known this person. I've known this business for a very long time. And the person who left, I've known since they started. And we became friends. We talked a lot about dogs. They also like dogs very much. So I wish them well. I'm very intentionally not talking about the business or the type of business or using gender pronouns or anything because I don't talk about clients. It's just not right. Whistlekick wise, what happened? I responded to like 4 emails because that's all that could happen. So today, as soon as I'm done with first cup, I'm gonna grab second cup of coffee and go to my desk and just hammer out emails. Just hammer emails until when's that first interview? 9:30. I got 2 interviews today. I think if somebody is interviewing me today, meeting with a potential new client, and then have a meeting for the gym. Way too much in one day. I'm gonna, like, other than this block of time in the morning at my desk, I don't think I'm getting anything done. That's okay. It's gonna be all right. I want to apologize. There were questions yesterday. They just didn't show up on my side. Good morning, Jordan, and thank you. Jordan says, morning, you've got this, Jeremy. Well, I appreciate the sentiment and the support. We all need those positive vibes, don't we? How great would it be if we could all wake up and there were, some positive messages from someone, from everyone, just saying, hey, have a great day. You can do this. Years ago, I don't think this person thought it was an actual legitimate business idea, but I thought it was. Come up with this idea for puppies in your inbox. Stacy says, sounds like you're getting a lot done today. I guess I'm not a big fan of meetings, and when I say getting a lot done, I'm really talking about things that are already going. So when we talk about recording guests for the show or something, yeah, it's getting stuff done. It's important stuff. But I'm looking at the pile of stuff that is unfinished. And that's really what I refer to. So anyways, years ago, this woman that I knew, we used to trade dog pictures via email. And I said, what if this was a service? What if you woke up and there were pictures of dogs in your email every morning? So you could start your day off with a laugh. Now, this was pre-Facebook, and there are tons of dog groups on Facebook. But we called it, tentatively, Puppies in Your Inbox. And I thought it would be great. Could have done some sponsored emails, have people pay for advertising in those emails. Would have been awesome. I don't know. Man, I'm sleepy. I think I started to say I want to apologize to Frank. Frank had left questions Sunday night for Monday's episode, and they just didn't show up on our end. And this is like the second or third time this has happened, so Frank's looking into that. Because I don't know what's going on. So, you all should have had questions for me to answer. You all should have heard me answering questions yesterday, but I just worked with what we had, right? All you can do is work with what you have. Hold on. What's the thing I say? Do what you can with what you have where you're at. That's not my quote, but I'm going to pretend it is. Oh, I take a nap already. Can I do that? What's the delay where going back to bed becomes a nap? If you get up and you go back to bed 5 minutes later, it's not a nap. But if you get up and go back to bed 4 hours later, that's a nap. 2 hours. Jordan says 2 hours. I don't think it's that much. I think it's less than that. An hour would be going back to bed. Maybe 90 minutes? I think I'm going to say 90 minutes. That is not YouTube. That is YouTube. We're doing it. We got this. I don't think I've talked about this. Jordan says, I guess my body Rather get up, be busy, than go back to bed for better sleep. Yeah, I get that. A couple months ago, I don't know if I've talked about the problems with my new car. I think I have. But a couple months ago, I said, fine, Mazda, you're not going to care. I'm just going to start posting videos of all these problems. And so I have a personal YouTube channel, which prior to this has been videos of animals from travels. And so now every week I post a new video of things that are broken with my car. And hundreds of people are watching these videos, and I am not even close to the only one. This car is a disaster. And Mazda doesn't care. So don't buy a Mazda. Oh, wow. I'm gonna see how this goes. Well, that's interesting. I wonder why this is doing this. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna get my laptop and see if that works better. Right back. So here's what's happening. There are comments. I can see them. But when I bring them up, they're not there. They're just they're just blank. And I want to see if I can see them. Could be YouTube trying to censor things because they do that. Switch channel. Stop. How do I do this for me? Here. Not this. This one. This one. All right. Something really screwy is going on here. See if I can show everyone. Because if I'm going to be this annoying. All right. Sounds like the plow's going by. All right. Stacy says playing the Jeopardy theme. All right. So if you look here, you can see at the top, those two pink things. Those are Frank's efforts at posting comments. And I can see the beginning of the first one. And then I click into it. And there's nothing. And it's nothing here, and it's nothing on my laptop. So come on, YouTube, get it together. But I can see a little bit of what's here, so I'm going to work with this. So yesterday was International Holocaust Remembrance Day. It was the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. And knowing Frank, we had 3 questions around that, and I can see the beginning of the first one, and I'll run with that in a moment. So what we haven't talked about on this show much, because it's not really related to martial arts, is the fact that I am Jewish, my family's Jewish, and lost some very large percentage of my family in the Holocaust. My grandparents wouldn't talk about it. I don't know anything about what went on. I'm rather detached from that part of my family history. Yeah, so the whole subject's an interesting subject. I'm a firm believer that if you don't know your past, you're more likely to repeat it and make the same mistakes. So the first question here, and this has, unfortunately, this is going to be the only one I'll be able to read. Um, we'll figure something out with this. And this can absolutely apply to martial arts. Is it okay to do something just because someone in authority told you to do it? Maybe. I think it depends on what it is and who's telling you and what the context is. It's really easy to say, well, you've got to do the right thing for you. It is not always that easy. And I'm not going to pretend for a moment that the instinct for self preservation is not paramount to who we are, to being a human being. I don't even want to give specific examples of the extremes. But let's say you're a 9-year-old kid and one of your parents tells you to do something that you don't think is right. What do? Assuming that your parent's not telling you to, go kick the dog, you kind of have to do what the authority figure tells you, because that's part of the structure of a family dynamic. If your martial arts instructor tells you to go do something that you don't understand or disagree with, assuming it's not going to really injure someone, you kind of have to go do it. I think I shared this story. I have been told multiple times by instructors to apply a little extra force to someone I was working with in order to convey some education. In each of those cases, I either agreed or trusted the instructor. But I have seen things done in classes that I did not agree with, that I thought were foolish. Let's take the example of self-defense and the way self-defense is taught. I've been in a number of classes with different instructors who I think do not get self-defense. I don't call them out for it. I don't even talk to them after about it. It's their class. I do what they tell me to do. It's part of the conditions of being there. This is probably one of the most subjective, murky subjects we could ever get into. And it becomes a much different conversation when we talk about the extremes, like things related to the Holocaust. That fortunately, virtually none of us, statistically none of us, will ever be involved in. Sometimes it's easier to argue extremes. It creates a lot more contrast in different positions, so we can debate. I actually think in this case it makes it harder. So I'd rather talk about the things that are easier and more likely to happen. Whether you're in class or at work, you'll probably be told to do things that you disagree with. What are the consequences? I haven't had, quote, bosses in the traditional sense very often. I've been a consultant, but my clients are my employers. And there have been times they have wanted to do things or wanted me to do things that I completely disagreed with. And in those cases, we'd have a conversation. And I would say, I need you to understand this is not what I am advising. And I need you to sign this piece of paper that says, you understand this is not what I am suggesting. That you are doing something counter to my recommendation. And they sign it. And then I do it. Because I'm not in some kind of industry where I have to worry about people's well-being. So it's easier for me. The fate of computers or marketing strategy, the biggest impact is dollars. It's not someone's health, psychological state. When you talk about martial arts, when you talk about kids' classes, there's a lot there. I'm trying to think some of the more extreme things that I've witnessed in kids' classes. Even the most extreme things that I've seen, the actions have come from a place of love and genuine wanting to help the child or the student. And it becomes a lot easier to trust someone's actions when you trust that they have good intentions. If I didn't trust that they had good intentions, I wouldn't be training there. Yeah. Yeah, if you don't think that people that you're training with have good intentions, probably shouldn't train there. And that tends to cascade down from the instructors. If the instructors are good people, the people that end up training there tend to be good people. So it becomes easier to hang out in that context. But to throw a little bit of a wrench at this whole subject, you have to do what seems right for you, for the people around you, for the people you are responsible for. And I have had private conversations with instructors asking about their decisions and suggesting that they might consider a different path. And I am fortunate because the people that I train with and train under respect me and my opinions. Because again, I wouldn't train with them and under them if they did not. If I saw an instructor beating a child, I would have no problem stepping in. But I can't imagine I'd ever be in that situation because I never trained with someone who would beat a child. And I suppose that if you're starting in a new school, you might not know, but how often does that happen? Extremely rarely? Statistically, never, fortunately. Yeah. All right. Well, there's a good way to start your day. Now, why is this important? Because it's important to know that you're protective of others around you and they're protective of you. This is paramount to being a martial artist, to being part of society. If you're not going to use your training and your skills and strength as a human being for good, what's the point? I think most people will do that if they feel they have the ability. You all have the ability. And don't be afraid to stand up for yourself and others. And it's a skill like anything else. Practice it. Now, I'm going to tie that into something that I want you to do today for your homework. But let's close this up. Don't forget, we do the show every weekday morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, here on YouTube. Subscribe, turn on notifications so you can catch this and everything else that we do. If you want to support our work here at Whistlekick, go to whistlekick.com and use the code FirstCup15, or go to Patreon. Support us there. If you have a question, drop it below or email me, jeremy@whistlekick.com. Now, okay, here's the homework. Standing up for yourself and for others is a skill. It requires practice. The anxiety that we all get before we confront someone, it's real, but it gets easier with time. I want you to find an opportunity today to stand up for yourself. Maybe it's in person, maybe it's on social media. If nothing else, write a letter. Maybe you don't even send it. But I want you to be direct, and I want you to be honest with what you're feeling and with the person that you're talking to. It gets easier, but you gotta practice it. Otherwise, you don't have it when you need it. And you'll spend the rest of your life or day or week kicking yourself because you didn't take the opportunity to stand up for yourself. I think we've all done that. It's much more powerful for you and for the person or people that you need to stand up to if you do it in the moment. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Peace.